What's up guys, it's Peak Octane, and today we are starting a new series of F1 2020 My Team. This is going to be Season 1, and we are choosing our engine manufacturer, our teammate, our first sponsor, our car liveries, all that sort of fun stuff. And I knew I really wanted to have Mick Schumacher as my second driver, which is perfectly fine, but the biggest thing I wanted to make sure I paired that up with was having Mercedes as the engine. So that really cornered me into being able to only choose from one sponsor, which is fine. It is what it is. So we ended up having to go with the three shown on the screen, and then we imported a modded skin, and we just used the logo creator to create a logo for our team. And it was just as simple as that. I'm showing some of the settings here to be transparent. This is my first year using wheel and pedal, so I'm not the best, but I just wanted to be as transparent as possible because that's why I'm not doing this at a high AI driver level. We're going to move into some pre-season upgrades, getting in some chassis and powertrain upgrades going in the pre-season. You can see we are essentially the bottom tier teams starting out, and with our first event we will do the car reveal. Now, it isn't all that much to celebrate in terms of a car reveal because we are near the bottom of the grid, but it is always exciting to see the new liveries that the teams come up with every year, so I still wanted to include that. And with that, we will get through some weekly events, and we will start round 1 at Australia for our first Grand Prix. Now with Q1, we are putting in a banker lap, seeing if we can start by getting to Q2, and we start out with a 125.0, and that already puts us in provisional Q2. The big question is, can we improve on that? Can we keep our spot? And so far, going through this last corner, we are dropping a tenth and a half, and we are into the 124s. And we are shown 12th. We are moving on to Q2 in our very first Grand Prix. Honestly, I felt pretty lucky to be able to do that because we do have a back marker car. So we kind of outperformed ourselves, and we didn't really get much going in Q2. So we kind of just accepted the results there and decided 13th is a pretty good starting position for us. So we didn't do a second run. And now we are into our first Grand Prix, starting 13th on the grid, and we are actually off to a pretty good start compared to everybody else. We got both Racing Point cars in front of us, and oh my goodness, that is a 3-4 car crash right in front of us. We also got a warning for colliding with Stroll there. I really thought he came over on us, but oh well. And we have our first safety car. I'm not too surprised because those guys were well off the track, and taking a look at the replay, they were just all bunched up in there. Yeah, that was a good 4 cars involved in that crash, and 4 top runners too. So I mean, that really moved. We're already into the points, sitting at 9th, and we get a terrible restart, which is fine. I mean, that type of thing will happen. But that really is showing some costly early, as we are already near a second behind the car in front of us, right on that edge of DRS. And I mean, we still got a couple laps until that opens back up. So we have to really push hard to manage that gap and be able to keep DRS to keep us within shot of moving up the position or two in this race. I really don't expect at this point to move up too much further because at the end of the day we do have a back marker car, and we are just trying to outperform the car's ability as best as we can. but we are way behind those of the top teams. It really did help that 4 top cars were taken out in that crash, but that only means so much when your car is ranked, I don't know, 18th of 22 on the grid, something like that, like 17th, 18th or something like that. Like, to be able to score points is just the goal here in our very first Grand Prix. We're already in the points, so I don't want to lose too many positions. And we have Bottas out of the race, and that will give us another position, and we now have 4 points to our name if this holds steady. And we're just going to go ahead and fast forward through this because it was rather uneventful, as I really couldn't make up any ground. We're just kind of maintaining that DRS gap level, and with that we're just going to skip ahead a few laps to where everybody else actually decided to pit and we were staying out longer. We decided earlier in the race that we would extend the pit window, and that will actually give us P1 in the race for now. Now granted, I am coming in at the end of this lap, so that will not last forever, but nonetheless, we have an open track ahead of us. Nothing to slow us down. I did miss a good number of marks on this lap, and I mean, so be it. I'm still working on my consistency, being able to hit all the corners the way I want to, but I mean, and that probably cost me too in terms of trying to get the overcut on everybody, and you can kind of see, even though they're on the medium tires, my soft tires are gone, and the top cars are indeed closing the gap, as we are already near just a 13-second gap, maybe even getting into the 12s here really shortly. So we will not be coming out P1, nor did I expect to. They were well ahead of us going into that pit stop. So we just wanted to get a good approach, really get as good of a pit stop as possible, just because this overcut is going to be real iffy. I kind of regret extending the pit window, but it is what it is. It was my choice as technical bumper 1 driver, and I was okay with it because we started out on a fresh set. The top 10 cars, they all had used sets, so I mean, I felt comfortable extending. Didn't quite work out for us as we come out in P9, so we are still in the points, but the overcut did not work, as we did lose a position. I'm not exactly sure to who. And moving up ahead in the race, we are now with 4 laps to go, and we are back within DRS range. I'm accidentally hitting buttons that I didn't mean to, and that distraction ended up putting me in the back of Stroll, but that allowed me to get by him. I somehow did not get a warning for contact or anything like that, but we will take advantage and move into 8th place, adding 2 points to our name. And thankfully we are still within DRS range of those ahead of us, but it is not enough, as Stroll and the Racing Point car will charge back past us, putting us back into 9th place. The one thing that was kind of nice at this point in the race, even though I really was having issues with overtaking anybody just because their cars are so much stronger, I was real happy that the gap back to 10th place and even 11th thereafter was so large, just because I knew I've got 3 laps to go and I've got a large gap, so I'm almost guaranteed points as long as I don't royally screw up. And that was really a part of my goal, was to just have a solid lap. I knew I probably wasn't going to be able to overtake Stroll anywhere in any point in this lap, because I just could not get close enough to him. So it just became a game of just kind of being relaxed and just making sure I get around the track one last time and get those 2 points to our name. There was no point in pushing for a fastest lap. My tires were only 1 lap fresher, and honestly, the car just did not have the pace. I mean, you can see how easily they just pulled away in those last couple of corners. And I mean, that's just how the race kind of went. I would get close and then they'd absolutely pull away, whether it be from a mistake on my end or whether it just be because their cars are that much better. So that's what our upgrades will hopefully close the gap on. We'll have to wait and find out if that actually works or not. But until then, we're going to be real happy with our P9 here in our very first Grand Prix. 2 points to our name through one race. I cannot complain. I knew it was going to be a struggle to get any points this first season. But with that right there, that already makes this season a success. Cook Racing has points next to its name after one race, and now I think our goal shifts. Because with that result, that shows us we can do that out of anywhere. So hopefully we'll get a few more races this season where we put some points next to our name. Hopefully next to Mick's name, but I'm not 100% sure. And who knows, maybe we can hit double-digit points for Cook Racing this season. We'll have to wait and see. And that really boosts our acclaim and our team acclaim. And I really don't have much to complain about. I mean, that was just a solid race all the way around. Thankfully, that crash really put us in contention for points. So it showed us that, you know, a few things go our way, it really is possible. And I think that's really good momentum to start out this season, and really good momentum for starting out this series. If you guys liked the video, please click like and subscribe. Check the links down below, like my Twitch channel. If you go there, drop a follow, swing by, drop in the chat, say hi, tell me you came over from YouTube. That way I can make a mental note of that, keep track of what's going on, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.